guest, my role today is to give an evaluation of today's meeting, and we have speakers today. So we will have two evaluators giving their evaluations of Bryan and Marianne's speech. So at this point, I'd like to introduce our evaluator for Bryan's speech, Melissa Cook.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bryan chose his speech where his body speaks. And the topic was a great topic, exercise, your body's moving. And I know one of the concerns that you had is that you would go over the top. I don't think you did enough. I think this was a topic that you could have gone totally crazy with. We've all been there. We've all, totally collapsed. And I do suggest for this topic, it could have been way over the top. With the rest of your speech, you use the room. I know we had a little bit of a congestion up here. You were using both sides of the room very effectively and efficiently. Making great eye contact with the audience. So that, I think you do very well. With this speech, it was more about the body and how you were using it, and I know we've noticed, and we do it ourselves. This has become, I guess, a Munchism. We've all come to know and love. With that, I think the ending could have been more effective. What I really wanted to know about your great purchase of Groupon was this the $25 one exercise lesson, or did you get the rest of the lessons that you had signed up for?
TBD.
Because I think we've all been there, and I, myself included, have gone in with great expectations and signed up for that great bargain, only to go once and never again. You do appear very relaxed up here, so you exude an air of confidence up here. I liked where, in the mannerisms that you did do, specifically, you talked about typing at your desk, you did this, and then once you had gotten to your lesson, how there were cables and you were pulling and going from side to side. I feel that was very well done. With that, I feel you're progressing. You've made your 5 speeches, and we look forward to hearing your next 5 to your CC.
Thank you, Melissa. Moving right along for our second evaluation of Marianne's speech will be Bruce Millman.
General evaluator. I always feel that evaluating a speech from Mary Ann is like evaluating a civil rights treatise from Martin Luther King, or a Mozart symphony, or a physics formula from Einstein. And I'm honored that as my last evaluation with AG Toastmasters that I have the opportunity to evaluate a speech from someone like her, who is always, without fail, a pleasure to listen to. Today's speech was very interesting, and it actually broke my heart that I will not be here for the implementation of all the wonderful ideas that you hope to put in place over the next few months. I love how you basically tied in the goal of your own leadership to the development and well-being of the club. And the layout of the speech was good, in that you started from the sort of high level of here are the different paths that someone can take within Toastmasters, the leadership and the communication paths. Here's how you sort of work your way up the mountain, although as you pointed out on that slide, the top of the mountain is actually the bottom. But in any case, you kind of gave us a good general idea of what the paths were. Then you moved on to how these could be achieved. You gave us your mission statement, and then you listed the 14 specific steps that, once again, I will not be here to experience the implementation of. So I think it was a good sort of approach from from macro to micro, as well as efficient utilization of the 2 slides that you had as part of your presentation. The manual also talks about the importance of backing up Project 2 speech with specific data, with information, since that adds credibility to the speaker. There were a couple examples where you did that, I thought, quite well, although a lot of the information was a little depressing. For example, the fact that we have a high attrition rate, that 40% of Toastmasters members leave after the first year, that the average Toastmaster only gives 1.5 scheduled speeches per person per year. I mean, those are very sobering statistics, but also ones that added credibility to your speech, and also, I think, can serve as a motivation, sort of a clarion call to action that, hey, this is a great club already, but let's all take it up to the next level. You were also quite persuasive. You used phrases such as, I want you to join me, so you really sort of gave that call to action once again to try to connect with the audience, to encourage people to really take ownership and feel committed, feel connected to all the steps that you laid out. I was a little bit confused when you started talking about next steps right at the end. And you said, my next step is to give a speech on what I've learned. And I wasn't quite sure if that was in reference to you or to...
That was the 5th step on the chart.
Okay, gotcha. So that was, all right. So that could have been either for you or something for us to potentially do later on as well, but mainly geared towards yourself. Okay, I apologize if that was only my confusion, but I didn't quite grasp that the first time around. One other small thing, the DTM acronym that you used in the beginning, you struggled with that a little bit. But overall, once again, a great speech, very sobering, but at the same time inspiring call to action for myself as well as hopefully for everyone else in this room. Thank you very much. Mr. General,
Okay. At this point, I'd like to evaluate our evaluators. Melissa, I think, did a good job. The key point, and I think any evaluation, it's difficult to come up with key points, but keep in mind, I think the Toastmaster best approach is to do a sandwich approach. So give them good feedback, some things to improve upon, and then finish it off with more positive feedback. And I like that you chose the Munchism, and that's hilarious. That'll stay. And then Bruce, excellent job on your last evaluation. You never know. You can't never say last. Right? So, good job, excellent picking out the good points of Mary Ann's speech, but again, something that you can add to improve upon. And then also both evaluators left out the fact that you should say, this is my opinion only. So